Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. I am your Shakti guide, Helene Wesslund, and I welcome you to the Shakti Flow Summit, where we learn how to embrace our feminine flow to receive more joy, balance, and energy in life. In this circle, no time exists, so everyone who watches this now or later will all be included in the same energy of the circle right now. And today we are talking to a beautiful teaching expert. It's Flora Ware. Flora is a conscious dreamer, moon circle priestess, and feminine leadership coach. She is the creatrix of Goddess Dream School, an online business training and sister mind that uses circle medicine and divine feminine archetypes to support spiritual entrepreneurs with mindset, marketing, and magic. Flora is a best-selling co-author, workshop facilitator, and speaker, and she lives in the beautiful Okanagan in BC, Canada, with her wife and son. So welcome, Flora.
Thank you so much, Helen. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Yes, it's really nice speaking to you. We've been friends on Facebook for a while now, so we've been checking each other out. I thought you were a perfect choice for this. So the summit is about feminine energy. So if you could just please tell us how you see the difference between the feminine and the masculine energy and how you use it in your life.
Sure. Great question to start us off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think to start, I'd like to say that the divine, what I understand as source, is really beyond gender. And how we perceive God, goddess, the universe is typically how we perceive ourselves, our gender. And so as women, we will respond to and understand the divine as feminine, and men will see it as masculine. And we're in an interesting time, I believe as well, where more and more people are getting, we're moving beyond the gender binary. And I, and as a queer woman myself, I still identify as feminine and use she, her pronouns. But I think it's a really exciting time to be in the world where more and more people are going beyond the gender binary. And I often like to say provocatively that God is genderqueer. And so, but as women who do embody a feminine, what I see it meaning is, receptivity and creativity and really flow. And I love that you called this summit the Shakti Flow, because that is one of our feminine gifts. And even as someone myself that is, a strong voice for the remembrance of the divine feminine, and I'm all about goddesses, and I'm all about, sisterhood and women's empowerment. Interestingly, all of my ruling planets astrologically are masculine planets. And so I recently had a divine download in that my own work in the world is bringing the divine feminine back into flow in my life and for others, but still through the structure and like the ambition of a more masculine framework. So that was an interesting personal realization that I had recently, that I feel I'm, that I am an embodiment of the balance of the divine masculine and divine feminine. That's certainly what my goal is.
Yes. And you can't just live on one of them either. You have to have a balance between the masculine and the feminine. But something I have noticed is that especially coaches are often in a lot of masculine energy. as well, of course, as the feminine. So I find that
Mm-hmm.
really interesting now. I'm starting to speak with people, and I realize why I don't feel I could be a coach. My coaches are all masculine. Everyone I have been working with are very masculine, to get, like things going. And I also have a very feminine coach for the spiritual side. And you also have groups and connect in sisterhood.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I believe sisterhood is key for activating change for women. And we are, as we're transforming ourselves, we're transforming the world. And that grassroots type action is so true, that we the work, the healing that we do for ourselves does impact the world around us, because it starts with our families and our friends. It ripples out into our communities. And essentially it's really the only way to affect change, and it all starts with the self.
Yes. So do you have like a tip for the rest of us, besides being in sisterhood groups, which every woman should be, but some kind of tip on how to balance the feminine and the masculine energies?
Well, it sounds trite to say it, but awareness is really the first step. Looking at, I think that the awareness of where in your life are you feeling tense, or are you feeling out of alignment? Then that's usually a clue that you're operating outside of outside of your feminine flow. It could be in your relationship with your kids, or maybe it's in a dynamic that you have at work, or with your partner, whatever it is. Think about, where do you feel tense, where do you feel stress, and then see, am I responding in a way that feels authentic to me? Does it feel genuine, or am I responding in a way that I think I should be? Am I doing something that that's like out of an obligation, or is this something that I'm not really passionate about anymore? Always asking yourself those questions, and really looking at those I guess what I just said was our relationship dynamics. So I suppose that's a good place that I find to start. Our relationships mirror back to us, right? So look at your relationships, and which ones are thriving and feeling reciprocated, and which ones aren't. And maybe there's some clues in there for you about where you can drop in and be more authentic, or maybe a relationship or some activity that you're doing has run its course. And maybe it's time to set that aside.
Move on. Yeah, so it's all about listening to yourself, I guess. You should always listen inwards. And if you need help, you use cards, oracle cards or tarot cards. What do you use?
Yeah. I love, I have a few different oracle decks. I also love the runes. That's definitely tools that I use for my inner inquiry and journaling. If any of you like writing, that's a great way to ask yourself those questions, and to see what bubbles up from your soul. And to get back to the sisterhood, part of the reason that I think it's so important is that in sisterhood we can hear our soul better. When we're having that reflection, that sacred reflection, and we see our beauty and our strength, and our intelligence in that reflection from our sisters, and we can start to hear our soul's voice and what she's whispering to us. So
and again, the mirroring, always the mirroring. If you give advice, most likely need to hear the same advice for yourself. So advice, and then again, advice given isn't so much what we do in our circles either. It's more about listening and holding space, and I guess you do the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's an interesting thing you bring up about giving advice. Yeah, and hopefully that's not necessarily happening in the circle space, but with your friends, if you find yourself giving them advice or being triggered by something that they do, that is always a clue, always information for us. Well, what why am I being triggered by that? Is that something in me? Is that some shadow work that I need to shine some light on and heal? There's always more healing to do, isn't there?
Always more healing to do. That's beautiful. Yeah, and one thing I was thinking about the last couple of days, you are both a life and a business coach, and that is kind of new. It's with the feminine that you do both, because earlier, I mean, a couple of years ago, the business coach will be more masculine and more male, and the life coach perhaps were a bit more feminine. Have you thought about that? Is this something crossed your mind?
That's interesting that you say that, and I suppose I'm glad to buck the trend then. How that really evolved for me was all the women that wanted to work with me, even if they started out as with spiritual life coaching, what came up right away was that they wanted to start a business, and that they wanted to know how, or women that joined my goddess program, and I realized that everyone that was enrolling was already an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur. And so that has evolved for me, and even more recently, I've realized that even that felt like a bit of a pigeonhole, calling myself a business coach. And so, and what my zone of genius is, if you're familiar with that expression, I'm getting really clear what that is in feminine leadership, and that leadership and how it translates either in your life or in a business owner or in a company in some leadership role. So that's why even more recently now, I'm now saying that I'm a feminine leadership coach, because that encompasses more, and it takes me into that place where I'm really excited to work with women, and no matter what their circumstances are, like I said, like executive leaders in a company, or whether they run their own business, or if they want to be stronger leaders in their own lives and communities, it can be more open.
And as a mother, we don't that being a mother, you have to be a leader as well, and where to
absolutely.
Yes. Okay, we're not coming in there. But I can totally understand that. And you also work with archetypes.
Yes, so that is, I suppose, my specialty. I've studied with Jean Shinoda Bolin, who wrote her groundbreaking book, Goddesses in Every Woman. And I've also been studying with Helene in the 13 Moon Mystery School. And so archetypes and spiritual psychology and all of that it's been a fascinating subject to me for many, many years, probably since I first started reading Joseph Campbell, Power of Myth, when I was 16 years old. So that's a long time ago. Let's just leave it at that. And so, and what I love about working with the archetypes is that it opens up, for many women, it opens up their definition of what being a woman looks like. Because for many millennia, we have been, encouraged is the nicest word to use, encouraged to stay in one of two roles.
Yeah.
Either the virgin, the
Mm-hmm.
young maiden, or the mother.
Yes.
And the wife, the mother and wife often going together. And that's it. Those are the only two acceptable roles for women.
Yes.
And so again, we're at a very exciting time in history where women are having more liberty, more freedom, more choices. And yet we are of course still very much steeped in the internalized oppression of the patriarchy. And so I'm very passionate about working with women through these archetypes and through the circle medicine and sisterhood, so that we're really healing the wounds of patriarchy from the inside out. Because even myself, as someone who I considered myself very independent, a strong, confident, a liberated 21st century woman, again and again, I've had to really look at myself and look at some of the choices that I've made, or even some of the limiting thoughts, and realize that even me, I was completely buying into a lot of the very basic patriarchal oppression. Just I had internalized it, and we all have.
Yes.
And I think we're still we're still a few generations out from it being a little bit more widespread healed.
Mm-hmm.
But the archetypes can open up so many more ideas. Even this idea of a woman being more masculine, because she's ambitious and she is in a position of authority, or she pursues power, and then other women can say like, oh well, she only got that way because she was acting like a man, or she's one of the boys. And I say she's an Athena.
Yes.
She's embodying Athena, or she's embodying Artemis, who had no time for relationships or children. Thank you very much. Artemis is an independent free spirit, and very goal oriented. She has her bow and arrow. So when we look at these different goddesses who represent different archetypes, that's usually the biggest eye opener for a lot of women, is that there's a broader definition of femininity when we look at these archetypes, because they can they can just give us so many more options than just the maiden or the mother. And then crone, well, we don't respect the crone at all. So even with the traditional maiden mother crone, well, no one wants to be a crone.
Yeah, and you are doing a meditation for us today here together.
Yeah.
And you are doing a little of those archetypes in that. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in that spirit of embracing all of us and all the facets of femininity, I have experienced, I should say, I experience these feminine archetypes as being very connected to our 7 chakra centers. So when I looked at the 7 primary feminine archetypes, and I looked at our 7 chakra centers, I realized that there was a connection there. So the maiden, the young girl, is our root. That is our core, our essence. That's our root as being our foundation. We all started life as a maiden, as women, right? And then in our sacral or sex chakra is of course the mother, who births new life, is the creator. And then when we get to our sacral chakra, we have the wild woman, who is the independent, action-oriented archetype in that chakra. In our heart center is the healer, and many, many women resonate with that archetype. of the healer. And that is, of course, in our center of love, compassion, forgiveness. Yeah. Then in our throat chakra, where we speak our ideas, where we speak up for what we believe in, is the creatrix. So the creatrix is the one who helps us manifest those ideas into reality. We first have to speak them, you know.
Yeah.
In our third eye is the crone, the wise woman. And so she has the foresight. She has the wisdom of experience. So the crone is in our third eye. And then in our crown chakra is the priestess.
Yes.
And the priestess is our connection to our human experience and the divine experience. The priestess is like, she harmonizes a lot of the energies of all and is one. So that's this, that's a quick overview of the sevens that I work with.
Wow, that was, yeah, I can totally understand that. Why haven't I thought about that?
It's a fun way, especially as business owners. If you realize you're like, oh, I'm always in the heart. I'm a healer and I'm always in the heart, which is beautiful. Wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. But when you need to anchor in some different energies, then you can use this. You're like, I need a little bit more wild woman for this launch to really get some energy, or maybe it's I'm going to bring in some wisdom of the crone to show my expertise in addition with my healing, loving energy. So then the archetypes and the different goddesses that you can connect with in each archetype, then they start working together, and then you have a whole team of goddesses working with you, which is fun. Call them in as you need.
And it's so much easier if you can go like, oh, I need more of, like the wild woman or whatever you need, and you can just it becomes more when you can grasp it better when you can pick a certain goddess or something. You get to choose your own preferences. Yes. So that's really beautiful. So now I'm really eager to do your activation, the little meditations.
Okay. Yeah. So should I just go into it now?
Yes.
Okay. So I invite you to close your eyes and take some deep breaths. This is going to be a guided visualization. And relaxing your tongue and your jaw and allowing the breath to fill your belly. Becoming more present and settled, grounded in your body. You can wiggle in and get a little more comfortable in your seat, wherever you are. And so we're going to start with the root chakra. So bring your awareness to your root chakra, and this encompasses your legs, the very bottom of your perineum. Just putting your awareness down there. Connecting with that energy, grounding in, and repeat the affirmation, I am. Connecting with that maiden. The maiden simply is. She is our core. I am. And now bringing your energy and awareness up to your sacral chakra, right into your womb space, our hips. This is where the mother archetype is. She births new life. Feel that great mother goddess energy in you, the same energy that creates new galaxies and planets, the universal life. We carry that within us. We are the life givers. And repeat the affirmation, I nurture. And now up, again, bringing your awareness up into your solar plexus. That is where your ribs connect, the space below your breasts. You can put your hands there. Feeling whatever energy is swirling around in that center. This is where the wild woman lives, is where we take action, where we make decisions, our willpower. And the affirmation is, I choose. Giving yourself permission to make decisions, to make choices, to be decisive. The wild woman can help us take action. And now bringing your energy and awareness up to your heart center. You can place your hands over your heart. What energy are you feeling there today? Are you open, warm? Are you feeling a little more disconnected? No judgment. Simply witness what is for all of this. If you're feeling anything, if you're feeling nothing, it's okay. But the healer lives in our hearts. Her gifts of unconditional love, forgiveness, and so much compassion for the human journey. And the affirmation is, I love. It could also be, I accept. Yeah. And now moving our energy up and our awareness into our throat chakra. You can just gently touch the front of your throat, maybe stroking it a bit, waking up the creatrix. The creatrix assists us in our manifestations. We must speak our dreams, our ideas into being. The creatrix is there, ready to help us. And the affirmation is, I speak. And then up into your third eye with your eyes closed. If you still look up to your third eye, that's a great activation for that center. Keeping your eyes closed, but looking up to the third eye. You can also place a thumb on your third eye in this kind of mudra, open hand, rubbing the third eye open. And this is where our wise woman lives, the crone. It's our center of intuition and foresight. We can be wise. And this is where we can own our own knowledge. We can stand in the power of what we know. We can reclaim our wisdom. And the affirmation is, I know. If any of you have been feeling a lack of clarity, I don't know what to do. Oh, I don't know this. Oh, what do I know? Spend some time with the crone, the wise woman in your third eye, and affirm to yourself again and again, I know. I do. And now bringing your awareness and energy up to your crown. This is at the top of your head. Feeling your crown open up and receiving, feeling like an open channel, receiving the download from the heavens, and also it's a portal for our energy to go up into the heavens. It's a two-way street, open portal right at our crown. And the priestess lives here, the priestess who has the gifts of alchemy. She harmonizes all our gifts of creativity, of nurturance, our expertise, our leadership. She can help us embody them all and know which ones to lean on at different times. Being a priestess of our life, of our business, and being the bridge between heaven and earth. And repeat the affirmation, I connect. I connect into divine source. I connect into my higher self. I connect to my magic. The priestess helps us connect. I connect. Take a few more deep breaths. Let yourself scan your body now, up and down, just feeling the energy channel open and streaming. Just noting again which centers felt really easy for you to connect with, which ones felt more distant. Just noting, not judging. And now grounding that energy into your body. Stretch your arms out and then stretch your arms up, bringing them into a prayer, and slowly bringing your hands in prayer down through each center as you breathe and coming back into your body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes, and when you are ready, open your eyes and come back. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that felt very empowering.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I felt from it. So empowered. Oh, I can really see how using this on a daily basis will make you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like calling in
Uh-huh.
lost or forgotten parts of your
Yeah.
soul in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's always good information. Oh, my heart's feeling really open today. Okay, I'm going to work with that heart energy. Or I'm feeling really connected in this center with this archetype. I'm gonna rock that today.
Yeah.
Or noticing where you feel more closed and
Yeah.
and disconnected. It's just all information, and that's why I say don't judge.
Exactly.
Just witness.
Yes.
And yeah.
I love that you said that, because it's so easy to fall into, oh, why am I closed? Why am I feeling that? Just, well, it's there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you breathe into it, and sometimes it just goes away by itself.
Yeah, I mean, if you did this kind of scan even a few times a day, it would be different throughout the day, let alone every day, or if you did it even once a week. So, yeah.
And your free gift for us is connected to this work as well, isn't it?
It is. So thank you for letting me share that visualization and this gift. So I believe that when we awaken the goddess within, we live with more passion, power, and purpose. And so I created Awaken the Goddess Within, which is a free 5-day email program, mini journey, where we explore some of those archetypes. There's a deepening practice. And it's an introduction and a way for you to explore explore some of these a little further. So I invite the listeners to awaken the goddess within.
Ooh, who can say no to that? So I will have there will be a button underneath this video, so that will take them straight to your page.
Beautiful.
So they can sign up for this. So
wonderful.
Thank you so much. It was really beautiful. It was so nice speaking with you today, Flora.
Yes, thank you so much, Helene, and thank you for this amazing summit and the work and the information that you are bringing to the world. And may we all connect with our Shakti flow more.
Yes,
I love it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I have interviewed Helene Kalila as well, so she will be on the summit too. Yeah, that's how we met, you and I. So, well, thank you so much for this. So you and everyone else just keep the Shakti flowing.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.